So, hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Mhm.
So, I wanted to kind of introduce you to my audience, my crowd, my friends, my family, all the people I know, because you and Andy, this is Sarah, you and Andy are running a class, yoga teacher training in Costa Rica, which is an amazing location.
Yeah,
And I
for sure.
wanted to share that with everyone because I've been around a little bit in the yoga community. It was like, over a decade, and um, I've seen a lot of different teacher trainings and
Mhm.
programs out there. And what really inspired me about you guys is that you're really teaching yoga out of pure love. It's your adoration for the practice and what it brings to your life, and you make it something really tangible so that it reaches all audiences. It doesn't really, there's no boundaries that can't be crossed when you're as open and humble about being practitioners as you guys are. And I've also seen and practiced with a few of the teachers who've come out of your school, and they have amazing teacher qualities as far as like they give great cues, they're super friendly, really open, down to earth, they're very real. So I just thought, if you guys are offering this program, we should get it out there for everyone because it's in a location that anyone can get to and wants to go to.
Yes, exactly. And thank you for saying that. That's such a nice compliment. We are very proud of the teachers that we have had in the past that come out, and it's just such a great addition to the yoga community, especially from where we come from, because we have such a small town, and like we have a bunch of yoga studios and we have a bunch of teachers that have been able to spread out now and go to them and share, and that to us is like the best part. And so in our thought process with this Costa Rica training is that we could get more people, certified if that's what they want to do. For a lot of people, yoga training is something that is like very intimate and for themselves personally, and they may not even want to be a teacher. I know when I first did mine, I was like, I'm not going to teach. Just don't what I want to do. And here I am, like 5 years later, doing these things and taking more trainings with Andy and I. We're both finishing up our 300-hour right now, and so we're doing that. And it's just something that we are very passionate about. So the Costa Rica training is just something we thought, well, let's just give it a try, see what happens, see who shows up, what it looks like for us, what it looks like for them, and we'll go from there. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, is this the first time you guys are doing this training in Costa Rica?
Yes. Yep. First time. We're just like, you know what? We're going to give it a whirl. We're going to do a destination retreat. We're going to just do it. And we committed, and here we are. And we're very, very excited. And we love yoga. We love the idea of yoga and what that means. And it's very personal for each person. And we like the uniqueness that we get to see and the creativity from each person that practices. It's different for everyone. And that's the beauty of it to me.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, why Costa Rica for you guys? What made you be like, this is where we want to teach? It's a dream location.
Yes. So Costa Rica just kind of came up. We did a bunch of research on different resorts and different places, and Costa Rica it's very safe for one. And the resort that we had that we have chosen, Blue Osa, is specializes in yoga trainings, and it's also just something that we thought people could get away. Sometimes we need a break and a reprieve from the daily life, and so going to a location like this is amazing, but adding in self like exploration with yoga involved can be life changing and transformative, and we wanted that to offer that to people.
Beautiful. Now, one of the things that appealed to me the most was the food options.
Yeah, same. I'm here for it.
I know you guys were saying that it's farm to table food. So
Yeah.
really it's locally grown. It's all going to be really fresh and healthy, and it will super activate your body so that you're getting more out of your yoga training as well.
Correct. There are vegan, vegetarian options, and it's mostly for breakfast and lunch. And then if you want to add a meat on in the evening time, that's available. All meals will be included. Lodging is included. So there'll be 3 meals and a snack. So if you're like me and you love some food, you're eating extra, that's available. The there's other add-ons as well. You can go places if you're there. They have different sort of like excursions is the word, not extravaganzas, but excursions. Yes. So if you would like to like rappel off of a waterfall, you can. If you would like to take a tour of the gardens and where you are, you can do that as well. You can take surfing lessons. They have a spa. Like this is so on downtime of things that, you know, you'll be able to go explore and have some time to kind of process and see the sights and do the things that you want to do. So yeah, we're really excited.
Very cool. So what would a day in the life of this yoga training look like? So it's 2 weeks long, correct?
Correct. Yes. So typical day, probably get up, do a little yoga, perhaps on the beach. They have an open aired studio. We'll do some of the work that we're going through the manual, teaching about, you know, the philosophy of yoga, where it originates and how that is important to us now as yogis, taking the step, making sure that we're using the knowledge that people have found to give everybody the best opportunity to learn. We'll be talking about anatomy, posing, sequencing, all that. And, you know, we take it each day at a time and we kind of process and see how the students are reacting to it. And if they need a little more time with something, then we give that, because we want this to be about them and how they learn and how they process the information. So that's really important. And then we'll have probably break for lunch, perhaps give you a little bit of time to go do what you're doing. We'll meet back and hang out, do some more yoga, and, you know, see how it goes from there. Each day is really going to be dependent on what the students need, because we found that is the best thing. Having an agenda, we have a schedule, but we're also very flexible with deviating from it, because sometimes that's just life. You got to throw it out the window and do what you got to do. So that's our plan. That's our kind of motto.
Beautiful. Yeah, I really like when a class is outlined, but it's not so structured that you can't have the flexibility to make things work for the people in the group. Because sometimes in a teacher training, certain topics can get very overwhelming for certain people. And I know I've heard from people before, they're like, whoa, teacher training, 200 hours in 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, that's so intense. And I was thinking to myself about it, because I did mine and it was over a few months. And that training in itself was super intense. I was like, oh my gosh, I did so much yoga all the time. It was crazy. And I know people get nervous. They're like, wow, how can I learn all of that in 2 weeks? And I'm thinking, well, because you're going to have so much fun doing it.
Right. It's going to be amazing. And like, it's not about retaining every bit of information. It's about learning about yourself, finding and fostering a relationship with yourself, how this is going to be brought into your life. And you can always go back. There's a manual. And so we give that to you as part of the training to always go back and refer to. Note taking, take some videos during class. We've had that before, you know, where people were like, okay, this seems like something that I might need to refer to. So take a video, talk about it, and then you're going to have other people that are going through the same thing that you are. And you often think like, I'm alone. No, you're not. Other people are feeling that maybe overwhelmness. So like, I have to remember every single thing. It's not. It's a practice. It's not a perfect. And you can just keep learning and trying and doing and see what works and what doesn't work for you. And that's what we're all about.
Nice.
Yeah.
So on that note, what about like, who's the training for? Because some people are very practiced in yoga. Other people are just brand new, but they're really inspired by it. How do they figure out, like, can I do this training? Is this okay for me to do?
We have no requirements for this. You do not have to have any sort of yoga background at all. If you've been practicing for a while, sure, anybody. We don't, there's, again, not a requirement. We want it to be open for everyone to come, because it's about learning. And again, if you're not wanting to teach and you just want to find a deeper practice for yourself and have a relationship with yourself that you learn and grow from, this would be a great opportunity. But it's also very open to teaching. We have tons of teachers, like you said, that have come out of it and been really great. So
Nice. Yeah, I definitely have appreciated the teachers I've gotten to play with in class. And on the note of teachers, one of my concerns when I came out of teacher training was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can teach. Like, I can definitely practice myself, but to say all those words and the sequencing, and I'm going to mess up. And what do you think for people who are coming in and they're there for 2 weeks? How do they go out? Can they go out and they're ready to teach, or what does that look like?
I think it would be dependent on the person and how they feel. Um, in class, we try to create a space that feels safe for every single person, while also giving, some feedback, because we want people to feel the ability to be able to go out and teach a class if they want to. We also don't force that on anybody. You are taking a teacher training, so yeah, you will be learning wording and what kind of language is best to speak to a group of people as a whole. We teach sequencing as well. So if you're like, I don't think that like I could create a sequence that would transfer into words, I can practice it, but making that accessible for everyone else, that's something that does take some time, and there's not any sort of problem or shame about that. You just take time to learn what works, and you're going to also learn that each class is different, and it's a way to show your uniqueness and your creativity in a class and keep people interested in wanting to come back for more. We've also found that, like, for us as teachers, giving a more just like, I guess, the difference in each class that we have, it's not the same every time, that people really enjoy that. They get to experience something new, and each post may feel different each time you do it, because it's a new time for you. And I don't know, we don't worry about making perfect teachers. We just want them to go out and feel confident in their abilities.
Yeah. And I think a lot like my heart desire is to see this world grow and expand in self-growth and development, because when we become happier with ourselves and our life, we can share so much more in the world and make the whole world better. We influence
Right.
the people around us. So I think that journey of the teacher training can really open people up to, wow, maybe I'm not perfect, but I'm still sharing and I'm shining and I'm opening other people up.
Right. For real. I mess up and say silly things in class all the time. And, sometimes those things, they're super relatable to people. They're like, yeah. And so you'll say something and you'll be like, oh, and then you see everybody else like laughing and having a good time and kind of letting go a little bit. And that's where the magic happens, when you get a relationship, because they realize you're not perfect. You don't expect them to be perfect. And here you are, just kind of doing it together, making your way through life, and you're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the training is called the Bhakti, Bliss, Shakti Yoga Academy training. And
It's a mouthful.
why did you choose Bhakti Bliss?
Well, Bhakti is a form of yoga that we teach, and it is about self-love and self-devotion, and bliss, just because when you find that love and devotion to whatever it is, you find a sense of bliss for yourself. And also the location, hello, like, it's beautiful. So it felt right for us to do. And we want people to learn about, the philosophy and the history behind yoga, and Bhakti is a big part of it for us in our practice. And we would love to share that with others.
Yay. Bhakti is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, the devotion, for me, Bhakti is just pure love. Right. It's like that space where you can't help but do things out of the kindness of your heart. You can't help but smile. You can't help but feel that connection to something bigger than yourself. And yeah, it's the reason that I started yoga way back when. It was Hurricane Katrina, and I'd never done a yoga class, and I was moving to New Orleans to learn how to teach yoga and meditation to people.
Yep. I know.
That was it.
Yeah, I went in, I was like, I just want to learn how to do proper poses. And like, I came out a changed person. Like, it wasn't even about the physical at that point. It was about something so much more. And that's where the Bhakti came in and forever transformed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. All right, so last question, I think. What is it that makes your training, your yoga teacher training, different from some other schools that are out there in your eyes?
Well, Andy and I have a very, hopefully this comes across, we have a very open policy for people. We want there to be individuality, to know that there are no limits on yourself. And so when we set this up, we hope that we can foster that for people and give them the confidence that they need to have a successful training, a successful experience. And one thing that we really are working on is bringing more love and devotion into each one. And so it's not really about our success as much as it is your success, and your success makes us successful in a way. And it's not about finances or anything like that. It's just that we love yoga. We love what it's done for us personally, for what it's done for our community. And we want to share that with people. And we feel really lucky to be able to do this and to be able to take a trip and go someplace beautiful and do what we love, because that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Way to go for creating the dream, making the vision happen. I love it. We need more yogipreneurs out there to, really, really go after it and not limit ourselves anymore, and share the beauty of what changes our lives, because that's how we make a difference in the world. And I love that you guys are on top of that and really doing that and sharing it in the world. And for me, again, I just to share with my community is like, what I really enjoy about you guys is that there's this, it's so real and humble. And I've seen so much yoga out there where there's this sort of fake spiritual quality that comes out, and like, namaste, like it's very serious. And like, you guys, we can have fun with you, we can laugh at ourselves. It's all about being human and more human and just opening up wherever we're at. And that is a quality you don't see everywhere, especially in the yoga community. So thank you for being that in the world, in my life, because that's a beautiful thing to see, and for sharing it with so many other people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great compliment again. Oh my
God. So I just want to share with everyone also the dates. It's this summer, May 23rd to June 6th. So if you guys are interested, just you can message me and I can connect you guys, or what is the best way to contact you personally?
You guys, you can email us at shaktiyoga.academy.com, or you can visit our website at everlimitless.com. There is a tab on there that says Shakti Yoga and Trainings, and then you can go down and pick the retreat, and that's it. There's an application on there. There's an option to set up a phone call. So if you have like more intense questions, I have a lot of answers, so we can do that. We also have an email sequence that's set up to kind of what to expect for this training, and some other things, food, travel. I know that was a big thing for people, is how do we get there? Well, you'll fly, and that will be something that you'll look at, because your location will determine what the flight costs for you to get there. So we have a bunch of other information that if you are looking for that, you can just reach out to us. So I don't know if you're going to put the email in there or the link. That would be great. So then they can just click on it. And then if you guys want to ever reach out to us individually, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook.
All right. Beautiful. I love it. And on Instagram and Facebook, your account is 409 Fitness and Yoga?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So I will just double check. I'll put the links in that I have. And thank you so much for joining me on this call. And we can share this with more people and get the word out and make our dreams happen.
Come play with us in Costa Rica, guys. It's going to be magical. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Wonderful to see you today. We'll see you again sometime soon.
Bye.
Right. Ciao.